Hello and welcome once again to Ignite Your Impact. My name is Jen Rhodes. I adjusted my chair and now I'm too short.
Story of your life.
I know. I can touch the ground though, which is great. Yeah. But now I'm like,
I'm telling you guys got to watch this on YouTube.
Maybe it looks okay.
You look great.
Thanks. So do you. Oh, this is Matt. Did I say your name already?
I think they know who I am.
Oh, that's fair. My wonderful husband, my rock, the Mac to my cheese, Mr. Matt Rhodes.
As much as I love hearing all that, I want to jump in.
Let's go.
I'm excited.
The horseradish to my oysters.
Holy shit. All right. I'm going to have to get this thing back under control.
Yeah, because I think I've already alluded to my current physical state.
So today, before we go get Jen food.
Yay!
we are going to dive in, and this is going to be a great episode. I can already feel it.
I love this topic.
Yeah. We are going to dig into the heart of how we take people from that average in their body to beach body or Fight Club shredded or bikini ready or whatever it is that comes to your mind when someone hits that ultimate goal and just looks freaking awesome. We're going to talk you through how we do that and what happens and how that affects beyond their fitness. It starts affecting their relationships and yes, their finances and everything else. So get ready for today.
Yeah.
It all comes down to when we're taking someone through this, there's really three things that are holding them back. And these are probably, we've had enough reps doing this. I'm pretty much guaranteed anyone listening, these are the three things that are holding you back as well. These are the three things that we work with each client on because it's with 100% certainty. If we can nail these three things, we are going to strike gold with them.
Yep. Quickly.
Yes, quickly.
Yeah. I do want to do a podcast on these three individually because as we were writing this, I'm like, God, I could go on for an hour on just this one thing.
Yep.
So that tells me we need to make another podcast about it. But I hope today hits because when we go through all three of these, we can touch on them. And today may be enough for some of you to totally get it. Right? The first one is huge. This is where you need to start. This is where we start everyone on day one. And until we can get this, I can guarantee you it will determine the speed at which you achieve what you want. It is that crucial. It determines the trajectory. That's the word I want to use. Language is so important, right? And it's not only where we start with clients, but this is essentially our sales process. Like if you want to call it a sales process.
Yeah.
It's not really sales to me, but anybody that has sent us a DM or booked a call with Matt or myself, you all will know exactly what I'm talking about. We do not sell people into our program. We dig deep. We dig really deep during that call. We're going to call it a discovery call, honestly, because I want to bring out your goals, your real goals, the things that you don't say out loud, the things that you're scared to admit, the things that when we get there, you say, I didn't expect to say that. How did you get that? How did you find that? How many times have you heard, I didn't expect this?
That's why I'm smiling.
Yeah.
Like most times.
Sorry, and I'm having allergies, so my nose is itching. But those of you that have been through it with us know that it's not scary. If you haven't been through it with us, you're probably like, you can feel that palpable fear. It actually feels really good to finally say it out loud. So the first thing that's holding you back, the first thing that is shackling you, is you will not admit what you truly want. And you will be in chains until you release it, until you say it, until you verbalize it. So you say you want to be fit, and you say you want to look good. You want to lose about 10 to 20 pounds. You want to do this for your kids. You want to set a good example. There's so many different things that you say. There's so many things that have been said to us. People do this for one major reason, and it's all about protection. They're trying to protect themselves. Without really diving in here, it is 100% about protection. You won't go all the way with your real goal, the one that's sitting in your soul, because you've failed before. You've gone out on that limb before and you failed. Or you think your current state is a failure for that original goal. Ooh. So you go with something in your mind, or you say something in your mind that's realistic or logical. I hate the word realistic. It just makes my skin crawl. To protect yourself. That's okay. But you've got to admit what you want. You're also protecting yourself because it's been driven into your brain that it is vanity to say, I want to walk around with a six-pack. I want arms to where people are like, holy shit, are you a personal trainer? I want to be able to put on this red bikini and have everybody looking at me.
Yeah, those two pieces around, not admitting what you really want, they're super powerful. I mean, super powerful. And when you break through from those two things, it is life-changing. The one you mentioned about fail before, when you get past this one and you realize that it probably was not your fault that you failed before. You didn't understand a lot of things. Maybe it's these three things that we're saying that are holding you back. But when you can get past that, you can really start to hit goals. You stop worrying about those past failures and causing them not to admit what you really want. And I'm not just talking about a six-pack or a bikini here either. I'm talking about real goals. Think about the things that you want deep down, but you've been afraid to go after them because of past failures. It's like a freaking light just turns on. I mean, it's just boom, it clicks. And you are, I say unstoppable, but Jim would tell me magnetic. You are magnetic when you realize that some of those past failures were not your fault, and you quit protecting yourself and you start actually going after what you really want. The next one you mentioned was the vanity one, and I love this one because it's crazy. When you stop worrying about what other people think, your entire world changes. You combine going after real goals, I mean the stuff that you really, really, really want, and then not giving a fuck what anyone else thinks about, that's when you're magnetic. That's when you're unstoppable. And again, it starts with admitting what you really, really want. The best place to start to change your entire life is in the fitness vertical. The reason it's the best place to start to unlock this is because you can scientifically go from point A to point B. You scientifically, if you do X, Y, and Z, you can get the result. And when you do that, you realize, holy shit, I may have failed in the past, but I am not a failure at this. I may have worried about what other people thought, but now I don't worry about it because I get here. That's why this is the best place to start to change everything else in your world. And that's when the floodgates open. Now, I know we said we've got three things to talk about, and we spent a little bit of time here, the first 8 to 10 minutes on this one. But it really is. It is the key to all of it. And again, like Jen said, we'll dig into these three things individually in podcasts in the future, because there's so much that we can go through even on the unconscious level of it. Like things like you aren't actually saying what your real goal is. Therefore, your mind doesn't know what you really need to do. Therefore, you aren't putting in the right actions and you never really get to where you want to go. I mean, there's so much we can go into that. Much. But I think for right now, people understand the point of this is to get anywhere, you've got to really admit what you want.
Yeah, I think number one, check. I think we get that. I like that you use the fitness vertical. Like we could do an entire podcast alone on Transformations are literally science. Quit trying to make it art. Now, what I do, what you do, some of it's art, most of it's science.
Yep.
And because of that, the second thing that's holding you back is you are trying to get cute with the basics. As my coach says, don't get cute with the basics. There's a reason I talked about the science part. I can mathematically, scientifically show you if you do X, Y, and Z, you will get this result. The reason you may not have achieved this in the past or think that your current state is an indication of a failure is because you didn't know what to do to sustain the result. Most people think, oh, fit, done, click, done, life. No. Quit getting cute with the basics. What this means is if you try to do the things like low carb, no carb, high fat, cutting sugar, cardio, 5Ks, whatever you're trying to do to attack this fitness goal, and we see this constantly, honestly. People will get some results and then they'll gain it all back. Because the basics consist. These are the basics. I'm giving it to you. You ready? Are you writing it down? Number 1, proper macronutrient distribution. You need all 3. You need protein, you need fat, you need carbs. Proper macronutrient distribution centered around 3 to 4 progressive resistance training workouts. You need to lift weights and getting 10K steps a day. Not only does that give us the input and the output, that's how you figure it out. It's input versus output to get the result. What if I do 40 minutes of abs a day? Great, you're going to have killer abs once you get the basics down. I don't do planks anymore. Why? Because I did years of abs trying to get abs, and then I started handling the basics. Holy shit, there's abs under there.
Yep.
Who knew?
Throw all the ab machines out.
Throw them out. You don't need them. You don't need them. But it's that simple. It is that simple. But people try to get cute. They try to hack. They try to shortcut. And that's when the roller coaster of failure happens. I need you to know if you cannot handle the basics, you do not get the result. That's it. You cannot build a sturdy house on a shitty foundation. You didn't get real with what you wanted. Then you got cute and you tried to hack and you tried to shortcut. And all that did is led to failure. And then you do this a handful of times over the years to where then you start justifying in your head, well, I just want to lose 10 to 20 pounds. I just want to do this for my kids. I just want to feel healthy.
It's a loop.
It's such a fucking loop.
I mean, it goes right back into the very first topic of you can't admit what you really want because you failed in the past because you got cute. And now it's just, I think everyone understands that.
That's how I get people out of the loop.
Yep.
Like if we can get an emotional, anybody that's in that, Jen, I just don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing this and this. I'm like, cool. Let's look at the science because this is the input. This is the output. This is where we determine how you're going to get there and how fast you're going to get there.
Yep.
Science.
The third one, let's jump into the third one. We told you there were 3 that were holding you back. And man, this is the one that separates
For
people.
sure.
It separates you in fitness. Separates you in business,
in life,
relationships, all of it. We said the first one is you can't admit what you want. The second one is you are trying to get cute with the basics. And here's the third one. You're not willing to do the boring shit long enough. It's plain and simple.
It's so powerful.
You're not willing to do the boring shit long enough. And what does that really mean? You know, if you've listened to us for any amount of time, you know that we have 3 phases. We have a foundation phase, we have a rapid fat loss phase, and then we have a maintenance phase or a metabolic recovery phase. Are you going to have to weigh your food during the foundation and the rapid fat loss phase?
Yes.
Yes. And it's boring, but you got to do it. Now, you can do things to make it less boring by trying to zero out your numbers and make it a game, and you can do that. But at the end of the day, we're just being honest with you. You're going to have to do that, and you're going to have to do it while you're in those phases. I don't want to do that. well, then you better get used to having the average body that you've got right now. However, I want you to remember where you're at right now. So whether you're wherever you're at, where you're at in life, and you're saying, well, I really don't want to weigh food. It's not really worth it. Go back to number one. Have you unlocked the real goal yet? Have you said it out loud? Have you said it to someone else? Have you admitted what you really want? Can you taste it? Can you smell it? Can you hear it? Can you see it? When that happens, you will absolutely wrap your head around weighing food during the first 2 phases. But you got to do that first. That's why we talked about that one. That's why it's so important. And it's just like business. Mm-hmm. This is just like business. And I know we got a ton of business owners that listen to this podcast and a bunch of corporate guys as well.
And gals.
And gals. When I say guys, I mean gals.
All my business ladies. All my business ladies.
That's awesome. But you are doing this at work, in your job, in your business every single day, but you're not transitioning over to your fitness journey. You're not willing to do the boring shit long enough here when it comes to fitness, but you do it every day at the office. You have to do the same stuff over and over and over to grow your business. You can't grow your business by doing one big thing and then you just become successful. Now, once you do hit some success in business, do you still have to do the basics? Absolutely. But it can change, just like fitness. Meaning you do those basics over and over and over and over, and you get shredded and you get a six-pack or the red bikini. You've built muscle. You've got your metabolism working for you, and you may not have to weigh foods the rest of your life. You still got to hit your protein. Still got to do your workouts. Still got to do your steps. Got to watch the carbs and the fats, but you may not have to weigh every time.
I think we're going to do another podcast on that alone, because I'm like, we weigh our food, why? To quantify input. That's it. It's accuracy of input versus accuracy of output.
Yep.
No little gadget's going to figure that for you. Input versus output. Okay.
But before we go any further, I also say you don't have to weigh your food forever, because here's what happens when you start doing these basics.
Yes.
When you do the basics over and over and over and over, you figure it out. It's just like business, meaning you may not need a scale because you figured out when you look at a piece of steak, you kind of know how much that weighs.
Right.
You've started to figure those things out. You do the basics over and over and over until it becomes natural for you. It's the boring shit. The boring shit is what will get you successful, because then you learn it and it becomes habit and you can do it without the scale.
Yeah. How accurate am I? My eyeballs. Now, unless it's peanut butter. If it's peanut butter, I measure it with my heart, not my head. But it's just like in business. And it boggles my mind that so many people that are business owners or successful in corporate America come to us and they've tried to hack. I'm like, guys, this is literally just like your job. What are the basics? It's just like in business. You have to do the basics. You've got to make the calls daily. You've got to post on social media if you're in sales daily. You've got to do the books for your accounting daily. As much as I hate it. You've got to work the calendar daily. Why? Reps. It's purely reps. And you can't stop with the basics, because that's how we get that rock up that hill, right?
Yep.
That's how you get it up the hill. One right foot, left foot, reps. Things aren't going to magically appear in your business if you aren't in the trenches completing those reps daily. They just won't. This isn't a fucking lottery. Like, without those reps, without those basics, people aren't just going to march through your door and buy the exact thing that you need to do to hit your numbers every single day. You have to do the reps, even if they're boring or if they scare you. right? Like, I've been in business almost 20 years. And do you want to know the one thing that I'm still doing every single day, 7 days a week? No, I'm not spending 8 hours doing it, but I'm hitting my reps.
Basics.
The basics. I'm posting. I'm setting calls. I'm showing up for consultations. I'm following up. I know for my goals, for my business, for my personal life, for my family, for my future, I know how many no's I need to get to one yes. And once you get that ball rolling, what does it do? It creates leverage. So if you're doing those basics daily, stick with it. Keep going. Am I going to have to keep doing this forever? Maybe in some form, because we've got to keep that leverage there.
Damn, I love it.
Do you want me to sing again?
I mean, you can. I mean, I love that too. But the reason I said I love that is because I know that someone's thinking right now. They're really thinking about that first one. I mean, they're like, oh, shit, god damn, I have not admitted what I really want, and that is what's been holding me back. When you can do that, they really want to go all in. I know you want to go all in, but you got to start with that first one. And if that's you and you need some help, reach out to us. If you need help with that, because it can be tough, we're here to help you.
I love it.
But it really starts with those three things. This is the three things that are holding you back. You can't admit what you want. You get cute with the basics, and you're not willing to do the boring shit over and over.
100%. Guys, I hope this hit. I hope you want to hear more about all three of these. Let us know what you're applying and how we can help. And with that, we'll talk to you guys next time.